Learn English through story. The Dark Whisper of Desire. In the bustling city of Orinthia, where ambition intertwined with desperation, lived a man named Adrian. A successful architect in his mid-40s, Adrian had built an enviable career. His designs adorned the skyline, earning him accolades and respect. Yet, as he stood atop his latest creation, a soaring skyscraper that touched the clouds, Adrian felt an emptiness gnawing at him. Despite his professional success, Adrian's personal life was a stark contrast. His marriage to Laura, once filled with passion, had become a routine of responsibilities and unfulfilled dreams. Their evenings were often spent in silence, two people merely cohabiting rather than living as partners. The whispers of his desires, buried beneath the weight of obligations, grew louder with each passing day. One late evening, while working late at the office, Adrian received an unexpected invitation. A gala event was being held to celebrate the launch of a luxury condo project, and he was to be the guest of honor. The thought of attending filled him with both excitement and dread. He decided to go, wanting to escape the monotony of his life, if only for a night. As he entered the lavish ballroom, adorned with crystal chandeliers and elegant decor, Adrian felt a rush of energy. The room was alive with laughter and music, a stark contrast to the quiet solitude he had grown accustomed to. Dressed in a tailored suit, he mingled with industry peers, enjoying the fleeting moments of connection. It was then that he saw here a woman standing across the room, her presence captivating. She exuded a magnetism that drew him in. Her name was Isolde, a rising star in the art world. With her dark hair cascading down her back and eyes that sparkled with mischief, she embodied the very essence of the desires Adrian had long suppressed. Their eyes met, and in that instant, the world around them faded away. Isolde approached him, her smile warm and inviting. "Adrian, right? I've admired your work. Your designs have a soul." The compliment stirred something deep within him. They conversed, the chemistry between them undeniable. As the night unfolded, they shared stories and laughter, each moment igniting a spark of excitement in Adrian's heart. Time slipped away, and before long, the gale began to wind down. As guests departed, Isolde leaned closer, her voice barely above a whisper. "There's an after-party at my studio. It's just a few blocks away. Care to join me?" Adrian hesitated, the tug of his responsibilities pulling him back, but the dark whisper of desire beckoned him forward. He nodded, surprising even himself. Arriving at Isolde's studio, he was greeted by the smell of paint and the sight of vibrant canvases that seemed to come alive in the dim light. The atmosphere was electric, and as the evening wore on, they shared more than just conversation. There was an unspoken connection between them, a dance of longing that transcended words. Hours passed, and Adrian found himself lost in Isolde's world. They moved from one piece of art to another, each telling a story of passion and creativity. The walls seemed to pulse with energy, reflecting his own awakening desires. With every brush stroke, he felt a liberation he had not experienced in years. In a moment of vulnerability, Adrian confessed, "I feel like I've forgotten who I am. I'm trapped in this life of expectations." Isolde looked at him, her gaze piercing through the layers he had built around himself. "Sometimes, we need to embrace our desires to remember who we truly are," she said softly. Those words resonated within him. In that space, Adrian felt free, as if he could shed the weight of his past and explore the uncharted territory of his desires. They spoke late into the night, the air thick with tension and possibility. As dawn approached, Adrian knew he had to make a choice. The allure of this new connection was intoxicating, but the weight of his commitments loomed heavily over him. Isolde leaned closer, her breath warm against his ear. What if we could create something beautiful together? A life unrestrained by expectations. The temptation was almost overwhelming. Adrian's heart raced as he felt the pull between duty and desire. He had spent years chasing success, yet he felt more alive in Isolde's presence than he had in a long time. But the whisper of guilt crept in, reminding him of Laura and the life they had built together. Isolde, he began, but she silenced him with a finger on his lips. Don't think, just feel. And in that moment, he surrendered to the intoxicating pull of desire. Days turned into weeks, and Adrian found himself entangled in a whirlwind romance with Isolde. They explored the city together, basking in the thrill of newfound love. Each encounter awakened a part of him that had lain dormant for years. They spent late nights discussing art, dreams, and their innermost fears. Adrian found solace in Isolde's presence, a stark contrast to the growing distance he felt with Laura. Yet, as the days passed, the shadow of guilt loomed larger. Adrian began to notice the cracks in his double life. His meetings with Isolde became more frequent, each stolen moment a reminder of the life he was neglecting. When he returned home, the silence between him and Laura felt suffocating. Their conversations became mere formalities, punctuated by unspoken resentment. One evening, as Adrian prepared for another night out with Isolde, Laura confronted him. You've been distant lately. Is there someone else? Her eyes barred into him, searching for the truth. The question hung in the air, heavy with implications. Adrian's heart raced. No, it's just work, he lied, the words tasting bitter on his tongue. But Laura wasn't convinced. I know you, Adrian. You've changed. You're not the man I married. Her words pierced through him, cutting deeper than any blade. He felt the weight of his choices pressing down on him, the realization that he was living a lie. As he left for the evening, the guilt gnawed at him. He arrived at Isolde's studio, but the excitement he once felt was now overshadowed by anxiety. Isolde noticed his demeanor. What's wrong? She asked, concern etched on her face. I can't keep living like this, he confessed, the floodgates of his emotions bursting open. I'm torn between my responsibilities and these a broken bar. This desire I feel for you. Isolde stepped closer, her hand resting on his chest. Desire is powerful, Adrian. It can lead us to incredible places, but it can also destroy us if we let it. The truth of her words weighed heavily on him. He realized that while desire could ignite a spark, it could also consume everything he held dear. That night, Adrian made a decision. He knew he had to confront the reality of his situation. As dawn broke, he returned home, determined to have an honest conversation with Laura. They sat together in the dim morning light, and Adrian took a deep breath. Laura, we need to talk. Her eyes widened with concern. What is it? I've been unfaithful, he confessed, his voice trembling. The words felt like a stone dropped into a still pond, sending ripples of shock through the air. I've been seeing someone else. Her name is Isolde, and she's brought something back to my life that I thought I'd lost. Laura's face drained of color, the hurt evident in her eyes. How could you do this to us? To our family? Her voice was a mix of disbelief and betrayal. I'm so sorry, Laura. I didn't mean for it to happen, but I felt trapped in a life that no longer felt like mine. I wanted to escape, to feel alive again. Adrian's heart ached as he watched the pain on her face. Did you ever think of how your actions would affect me? Our life together? Laura's voice cracked, each word a reminder of the love they once shared. Adrian felt the weight of her words crashing down on him. I thought about it, but I got lost in the thrill of it all. I didn't realize how much I was hurting you until now. The silence that followed was deafening. Adrian could see the walls between them rising higher, each moment of quiet a reminder of the trust he had shattered. I don't know if I can forgive you, Adrian, Laura finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. The days that followed were filled with tension and heartache. Adrian attempted to make amends, but the damage was done. Laura needed space, and he respected her wishes. In the solitude of their home, Adrian reflected on his choices, grappling with the consequences of his desires. In those moments of introspection, he found himself questioning everything he had pursued. Was success worth the cost of love? Had he sacrificed his marriage on the altar of fleeting passion? As he wrestled with these questions, he felt the dark whisper of desire echoing in his mind, urging him to seek solace in Isolde once more. Yet, as he reached out to her, the reality of his situation loomed large. He couldn't simply return to the life he had with Isolde without acknowledging the chaos he had left behind. The exhilaration of their romance felt tainted by the guilt of betrayal. Adrian met Isolde one last time, choosing a cafe tilde copyright where they had shared laughter and dreams. As they sat across from each other, the air was thick with unspoken words. I've been thinking a lot, he began, the weight of his confession heavy on his heart. I can't keep living in this illusion. I need to face my responsibilities, to heal what I've broken. Isolde's expression shifted, disappointment mingled with understanding. I knew this moment would come. You can't run away from your life forever, Adrian. But no, a desire isn't something to be ashamed of. It's a part of who we are. I know, he replied, pain lacing his words. But I have to confront the consequences of my actions. I can't drag you into this mess. Isolde nodded, her eyes filled with empathy. I'll always cherish what we had, but you need to find your way back to yourself, to your truth. With a heavy heart, Adrian left the cafe tilde copyright, feeling as if he was leaving a part of himself behind. He returned home, ready to face Laura and the unraveling of their life together. Days turned into weeks as Adrian navigated the aftermath of his choices. He sought counseling, delving into the reasons behind his actions and the longing that had driven him to seek fulfillment outside his marriage. Slowly, he began to understand the importance of communication and vulnerability in relationships. Laura, too, was on her own journey of healing. They began to attend couples therapy, working through the pain and betrayal. It was a long and arduous process, but they discovered moments of connection and understanding amidst the heartache. One evening, as they sat together, Adrian turned to Laura. I want to rebuild our life together. I miss you. I miss us. Her gaze softened, and for the first time in a long while, Adrian saw a flicker of hope in her eyes. I miss us too, but it's going to take time. We need to learn to trust each other again. With time, patience, and commitment, they began to navigate the rocky terrain of rebuilding their relationship. Adrian learned to embrace his desires, not as a source of shame but as a part of his humanity. He explored new passions, seeking fulfillment within himself rather than through external validation. As their marriage began to heal, Adrian understood that desire, while powerful, needed to be tempered with responsibility and honesty. He had learned the hard way that running from one's obligations only led to deeper heartache. In the years that followed, Adrian and Lauren discovered a renewed sense of intimacy. They rekindled their love through shared experiences, exploring the world together and embracing the beauty of vulnerability. While the shadows of the past remained, they no longer defined their future. Adrian often thought of Isolde, grateful for the lessons she had imparted. She had opened his eyes to the depths of his desires, but ultimately, he realized that true fulfillment came from within. He had learned to listen to the whispers of his heart, not as a guide to escape but as a path to self-discovery. As he stood once more on the balcony of his skyscraper, gazing out at the horizon, Adrian felt a sense of peace. The dark whispers of desire no longer haunted him. Instead, they became a part of his journey, reminders of the complexities of love, the importance of honesty, and the beauty of second chances. In the vibrant city of Verinthia, where ambition still thrived, Adrian had found his way back home, not just to Laura but to himself. The echoes of desire remained, a constant reminder of the lessons learned and the love rebuilt. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.